जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरवनचारि यमुना तीरवनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव श्री राधे जय कौरनिताय मायापुर शक्ति जय कौरनिताय जय मायापुर शक्ति जय जगन्नाथ जगन्नाथ जय बलदेव जय सुभद्रमय जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय वृंदावन नाम जय राधा दामोदर श्री राधे जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna.
So thanks for joining. As on Wednesday we'll discuss our what do you say okay, Īśopaniṣad, and we have discussed Īśopaniṣad from last 3-4 weeks now. So every Wednesday we try to join and discuss Īśopaniṣad. So last week, let me share my screen. Last week we discussed invocation, where we understood about how Krishna's is Purnam, and everything was emanates from Krishna is also completely perfect. And even though everything emanates from Krishna, he always remains complete balance. And we read all the purpose, as Prabhupada explains, defining Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha, and how we can engage in Krishna's devotional service, and all those in the purport. Prabhupada explains right that. Right. Let us see the first verse today. So Īśopaniṣad, see, this has 18 verses, and one after another we will discuss it. So let's go to first verse today, and we'll continue from there. Mantra 1. So Īśopaniṣad, mantra 1. Let's recite it. Please repeat after me. Īśāvāsyam idam sarvam. Īśāvāsyam idam sarvam. Yat kincha
idam sarvam
jagatyam jagat yat kincha jagatyam jagat tene tvaktena
Tena
bhunjitha.
Bhunjita.
Tena tyaktena bhunjitha.
Tena Tektena Bhunjita.
Ma
Maha.
Ma
grihad
Grah
gridhad
Gridagd
kasya
Kasya
svidhanam.
Svidhanam.
Gridhad krishya ma gridhad krishya kasya svidhanam.
Ma Gridad Kasya Svidhanam.
Let's chant the verse once again. Īśāvāśamidam sarvam
Ishavasham Idam Sarvam
yatkinca jagatyam jagat
Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat
tena tvaktena bhunjitha
Tena Tvakte
ma
Na
gridhad
Bhunjita
svidhanam.
Ma Gridad Kasya Svidhanam.
Let's see the synonyms word by word. Isha by the Lord. Avasham is controlled. Idam this. Sarvam all. Yatkincha whatever. Jagatyam within the universe. Jagat all that is animate or inanimate. Tena by him. Tvaktena set apart kota. Bhunjitha you should accept. Ma do not. Gridha endeavor to gain. Kashya Svid of anyone else. Dhanam the wealth. Translation. Nivetha Mata, you can please translation.
Everything animate or inanimate that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside for as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. Hare Krishna.
So this Īśopaniṣad is going to take us to the ultimate understanding of Supreme Lord, one after the other. And the very first verse starts saying that Isha Vadam Idam Sarvam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. So everything animate or inanimate that is within this universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. See, so this first and very clear line, isn't it? There is no confusion in this line, no jugglery words. It's completely clear. It says everything, whatever you see in this world, animate or inanimate, that is within the universe is controlled and owned by the Lord. It means what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita as well. Maya dakshan prakriti suyate sacharacharam. This whole universe is being controlled by me. And this verse clearly says that this is within everything within this universe, everything means everything. It says animate or inanimate, the living being or non-living, everything is controlled and owned by the Lord. Though Īśopaniṣad directly does not speak about the Lord, he doesn't say about who the Lord is, but we know who the Lord is. But here it clearly says that everything is controlled by the Lord himself. So everything what we see in this material world, even the spiritual world as well, will come there too. It says anything is being controlled and owned by the Lord. So we cannot control anything. Like just imagine, we don't have any control actually, to be honest, isn't it? So gradually we see this universe is working under Krishna's control. See the moving of the planets, the rising of the sun, setting of the sun, rising of the moon, setting of the moon, the day and night, by week and year and millennium after millennium. It's working very, very smoothly. That's all been controlled by Krishna. Right. Then it says, one should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself, which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things, knowing well to whom they belong. So whom they belong, everything belongs to Krishna, isn't it? In one of the purport, Prabhupada explains that we are thief. Actually, we are thief. Right. So what the context is? Context is that where Prabhupada explains in the context, like example, we use the mobile phone, like for example, SIM card, right? We use the SIM card for calling our friends, relatives. We use the SIM card to use the data or internet. What we do? We used to pay back. the provider, isn't it? Every month we need to top up, either depending upon our necessity and need, £5, £10, £20. We top up every month. We use the electricity bill every single month, and we used to pay it, isn't it? We used a flat to live in, rent. We used to pay the rent to the landlord, right? It means what? Whatever you are using the resources of material people, we need to pay back, isn't it? We are paying back. We are using internet, so we are paying back. You are using someone's land to live ourselves, we are paying as a rent. We are using everything, electricity bill, we are paying the electricity bill as well. So everything what we use, we are paying back. However, at the same time, just can you imagine, we are using all the resources provided by the Lord. Just imagine, if Krishna doesn't provide this earth, can we build the big skyscraper buildings? Not possible. Everything what we get, like food is coming from grains. Prabhupada explains in Bhagavad Gita that there is no factory in this world who can create food, right? No factory in this world can create grains, fruits. No factory can create it. The flowers, nothing. It's all by our metal nature. So it means what? We are thief in the sense that we are taking the resources from material world, metal nature, and we are not repaying it. We see the sunlight, moonlight, everything is coming from the nature, and so in that respect we need to pay back as well, like doing austerity and doing some yajna things, right? That's why Prabhupada says we are thief. So the point coming back to here. So we should know that everything all belongs to Krishna, and we should use things which are necessary for ourselves. All right, let's see purport. And it's being said which are set aside as his quota. So there are two things: one is necessary and one are desire, isn't it? What we need and what we desire both has a huge difference. We need something to eat, but we desire to go to a very lavish restaurant on top of something else and then eat there, right? I mean that's the way we need a motor car to go from Glasgow to temple, but then we can desire to have a lavish car, right? Everything automate, kind of that. That's the need and desire, both different apart. But what being said that accept those things necessary for himself. Okay, let's see the purport. It's a long purport, and again one by one we'll discuss. And anyone have any quick questions, comments, want to share something, realizations, please feel free to jump in.
Very quickly, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
So, in one sense, we've negated the karma or karmic debt to society by paying a utility with cash and exchange, right? But on the other hand, the utility of Krishna's earth, all his energies, how do we all pay it back except Tyaga, except by using what's necessary? Really, there's no sacrifice we'll be making. So, how do we pay back our indebtedness to Krishna? Even if it's by chanting, fasting, still that's not enough, right?
Yeah. See, I'll just give you a very, very, very small examples to answer your question. We have our children's, and what do we expect from our children? Do we expect our children to pay back whatever we have done for them? Yes or no? No. But that's what we expect from them.
To be good human beings.
Yes, we expect that at least they love us, they care for us. We have a loving bond with each other, isn't it? That's what we care more than repaying back. In a similar way, Krishna, though he's providing us everything, he is not expecting anything back from us. But what he's expecting is a love and care, right? It just understanding that okay, someone supreme is there, someone is there who is feeding me. That is what it is. The first line says, understanding that whatever I have is actually is being controlled and owned by someone else. It's not mine. This house, I have got it. That okay, I'm living here, but it is someone else. Someone else is providing me. I don't know who he is. Maybe I know who he is, but someone is providing us. The kids, they don't know anything. They are. If you see the kids, they don't care about their clothes, their food, and thing. They know very well that my parents are going to feed us. That's all. They don't care about how my parents going to work or where they work. They just need their ability to feel, and they don't care about, isn't it? So in a similar way, Krishna is not actually willing us to pay back. However, at the same time, if we can understand that actually someone supreme is there and I have something towards him, parents, we should love our parents. That's the only thing what they need, isn't it? So, chanting the holy name, reading scriptures, studying and following scriptures, as today I sent a message earlier in the day, right? Not going through the books, but let the book go through us. It means what? Let we try to leave the scripture, what scripture suggests, let to leave that. That's Krishna enough. Krishna is pleased that okay, I have told in Bhagavad Gita that patram puspam palam toyam and all others, manmanabha mad bhakto, and now be worship me, be devoted to me, and my children are following me. That's all. That's what Krishna need. That makes sense, Prabhu?
No, absolutely, Prabhu. I was just wondering now that if we haven't given, or if anyone hasn't given their love back to their parents or looked after them, then is there any possible consolation or reconciliation in this lifetime, or does one have to come back? Because no matter how much one chants or reads, there's that karmic deficiency, isn't there, that one's failed to even look after and love their parents? Or
Yeah,
no, is there reconciliation through this process?
karmic reactions and recollections are definitely there. Whatever we do, we need to repay back. Either we do something good, we have to enjoy it. Either if we do something bad, then we have to repay it in a way to suffer it. So happiness and suffering is there. However, when it goes towards a devotee karma, I mean, if someone becomes a devotee to the Lord, and his karma is being described that these karmas are being taken care by Krishna himself. So they will get reactions anyway, but the reactions will be just a token reaction, just to finish it away and to give some lessons to us, right? Yes, Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Very interesting verse, Prabhu, because I've been thinking about sustainability and I've been trying to, search for verses, and suddenly the first verse here comes up that because one of the things now, the modern day people are telling that, yeah, you'll have to be sustainable, don't be greedy, just use what is needed, simplicity and minimalistic lifestyle.
Yeah, that's what Prabhupada always says, simple living and high thinking.
Yeah. And this is exactly what it's told here also, about not being greedy and just use what is needed. And I also had a similar question as Rupesh Prabhu. And incidentally, when I asked the same question in one of the sessions, they gave the same example of the children, our own children. And then what I understand from that is, Prabhu, could you let me know if I'm understanding it right? Is that we could use everything in Krishna's service, right? Like even children as Krishna's gifts and Krishna's service. So that way, we are not using it for our own sake, but rather Krishna's service, so we don't get any karmic reactions. Is that right, Prabhu, that I'm understanding?
Karmic reactions, see, whatever we have done in the past, it will come up definitely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But when we take in a way of devotional service, then our karma are being kind of handled by Krishna. So I don't want to go into more differ there, but let's see how our senior devotee and Acharya explains it. Like one person is non-devotee, So whatever he is destined by his karma, he will get it.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he will just sit at home and then I'll get earning money. He has to do his work. So even there are different things comes up, the time, his activity, and the year comes in the picture. There's more detailed things, right? But the point is, whatever is in it is him or her destined, it will come back to him.
Mhm.
Right. And in case of bhaktas or devotees, what happens that karma is been taken care by Krishna. And Krishna's think that, okay, this is the punishment my devotee was about to acquire due to this karma. And Krishna thinks, if I give the punishment to my devotee, if it is going to increase the devotion towards me, then it's okay. And if that punishment is going to deviate him from my devotion, then Krishna cleans it away. I'm just giving an example. It's not I'm making an equation of karma here, but just an example. The karma equation is very complex. I don't know at all. Right. Just I'm trying to explain how Krishna tweaks our karma when we are devoted to Krishna. And if you see clearly, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita that aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshyami masucha. He says clearly in chapter 18 to Arjuna that don't worry, Masucha, be assured, I will take care of all your sinful activity. But the condition is that take shelter of me. Right. So that's how when you take shelter of Krishna, Krishna takes care of our reactions of either good or bad. I give example of bad, the suffering. In the same case, it happens for the good. If Krishna say, okay, this because of his past karma, he was supposed to get this very kind of some huge benefit. Let's for example monetary benefit. And Krishna thinks, if he gets this money, is it going to deviate from the devotion? Then Krishna brings it back. No, not required. So Krishna knows very well what is our need for our devotion. So he starts doing it. For the non-devotees, it's plain. Whatever they had to come, it comes up. Kind of that. That makes sense. It is just in a brief.
Yes, yes, Prabhu. It's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay,
So,
let's.
Prabhu, am I right to conclude that as a bhakta, or to whatever degree, half bhakta, quarter, 1% bhakta, whatever, the reaction we get, the karma will come anyway, but the reaction or the perception of the reaction will be less severe in our minds, less felt.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
Yes, Prabhu. And then I think it's I was giving an example of devotees earlier. If you remember, like when I mean, many examples are there when whatever comes to us, whatever the problem comes to the devotee, uh, we have seen from our acharyas and our devotees as well, senior devotees, like whenever any problem comes to them, they just blame it to their karma. They say that Krishna wanted us to get it and we got it. That's all. Nothing. We left bypass it. And then we pray to Krishna, please help us out to pass away from this danger. That's all. So devotion to Krishna is still intact. It's still there. Just they try to, negate, saying that, okay, it was about to come anyway, it came. And it may be about to come and in a huge, I just got a small one and a token, this Krishna's blessing. And then move forward. Yeah. So Krishna gives the strength.
That's very helpful to know that Krishna either cleans it away or gives it to you more just to keep you on the path of devotion. That's very reassuring to come closer to Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. It's for our own benefit, actually. Nothing more.
Benefit. Yeah. And by the way, I think all these prime ministers that talk about austerity measures in this country, I think they stole that from Krishna's books only.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go to purport.
Can I
Yes.
ask Hare Krishna, is that what Krishna means by your quota? Whatever karmic thing, whatever karma you have, that is your quota. It doesn't matter what somebody else's karma is or this karma or whatever. That's the quota that he has set aside for you.
Yes.
Nothing else.
Yeah, we'll discuss about this quota going further in the purports. It's a very important point because when I read this one for the first time, This was my question, that how do I understand what is my quota? That was my question on this verse very first time when I read it, I think some 5 years back. So what is my quota? How do I know what's my quota? Isn't it? I still struggle to find what is my quota, but
Yes.
let's see what comes up. Right. So basically, the quota is whatever is necessary for ourselves. That's our quota. And whatever we desire extra is actually going beyond. It's basically trying to steal something from the others. It says the nature balances, right? If someone, the richer goes more richer and the poorer most go poorer, because he have to balance somewhere around, right? So if we eat more than necessary, it means what? We are making someone else hunger, isn't it? Because we are buying more, accumulating more. So production is, let's for example, production is 1 kg, and my need is just 100 gram, but I am eating 500 gram. It means I'm taking someone else part as well, right? Just for example, weird example, but that's how it is. So it's just to neutralize everything. Okay, let's see the purport. Vedic knowledge, I think this is the very first paragraph we have discussed in the introduction itself, but let's just read it out. Vedic knowledge is infallible because it comes down through the perfect disciplic succession of spiritual master, beginning with the Lord himself. This parampara system that we discussed, right? So since he spoke the first word of Vedic knowledge, the source of this knowledge is transcendental. The words spoken by the Lord are called apauresha, which indicate that they are not delivered by any mundane person. Why? These mundane persons, they have 4 defects. If you remember, we discussed this very early. What are the 4 defects? He is certain to commit mistakes, he is subject to illusion, he has propensity to cheat others, and his senses are imperfect. Because Purushas, or we people, have these 4 defects, whatever comes from us is not transcendental. It's not complete. It's not no kind of its conclusion. But what comes from Krishna is transcendental, because he is not affected by these 4 things. So no one with these 4 imperfections can deliver perfect knowledge. I remember in one of the class I was hearing, there's been said that there's an author who write a books to say how to be happy in this life, and at the end he did suicide. So if someone is writing how to be happy, then why the person is not happy, right? So with our imperfect sense, we cannot deliver perfect knowledge. The Vedas are not produced by such an imperfect creature. Vedic knowledge was originally imparted by the Lord into the heart of Brahma, the first created living being, and Brahma is in turn disseminated this knowledge, disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples who had handled it down through history. So that is how the Vedic knowledge has come towards us, right? Krishna, and then from Krishna to Brahma, and then Brahma to Narada Muni, Narada Muni to Vyasadeva, and then it goes on. And now we are on the line where Srila Prabhupada has given all this knowledge to us, right? So this, I think, it doesn't need any more explanation, because we discussed elaborately on this paragraph earlier in the very start of this Īśopaniṣad. Let's see what Prabhupada explains the word by words to this verse. Since the Lord is Purnam, all perfect, there is no possibility of his being subjected to the laws of material nature, which he controls. So Krishna controls this material nature, and he is all perfect. So there is no possibility of he being entangled by the material nature. If you remember, there is a picture in the Bhagavad Gita, and also there's called a laws of nature, where this metal world is there and Krishna is having like a puppet. So 3 strings coming out from the hands of Krishna, and then we are juggling in this metal world. Let me find a picture actually. Give me a second. Laws of nature. Yeah, can you see this picture? This one. Oh, where it went. Anyway, I'm just talking about this picture. Can you see this picture? Left side, the right side, the laws of nature. If you see here, can you see it?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Okay, I'm talking about here, right? So this, we are in the material world, and these three gunas, material nature, these are actually binding us, and then Krishna is above them, right? Make sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah. So that's what the point actually is. That's what it says, that Krishna is above these three modes, and he is not subjected to the laws of material nature, which he is controlling. However, both the living entities and inanimate objects are controlled by the laws of nature and ultimately by the Lord's potency. So this Īśopaniṣad is a part of the Yajurveda, and consequently it contains information concerning the proprietorship of all the things existing within the universe. So who is the proprietor of all the things existing within the universe? That the first line it says, owned by the Lord. So proprietor, the controller, and even eventually will go to the enjoyer of this whole universe is Krishna himself. That he says this. So this Īśopaniṣad is informing us about who is the proprietor of all these things existing within this universe. Right? The Lord's proprietorship over everything within the universe is confirmed in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita 7.4 and 5, where para and apara prakriti are described. The elements of nature, earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, all ego, all belong to Lord's inferior material energies, apara prakriti. Whereas the living beings, the organic energy is his superior energy, the para prakriti. So the para prakriti superior is the jiva, the living soul within our body. That's para sakti, para prakriti. Anapara prakriti is the pancha mahabhut, and mind, intelligence falls over 8 elements. And, if you'll go to here, this Bhumi, Apa, Nala, Vayu, these 8 things, Krishna says there's a Apara Sakrati, Banna Prakriti Ashtada, 8 folds. These are my separated metal energies. And then if it goes next, he says, beside there, O mighty Arjuna, there is another super energy of mine, which comprises the living entity who are exploiting the resources of material inferior nature. Right? We are the living being who are exploiting these resources of material nature. We discussed earlier a bit, like how we are exploiting this material nature. Right? So that's Krishna explains, Prabhupada explains here, quoting this point, that the proprietorship is the Lord Krishna, who is controller of para as well as apara sakti. And what is apara sakti? Prakriti is the 8 elements, what we see, where we are built up. Our body is built up this earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, ego. This is called apara sakti. And the living soul, the soul which is super energy, is called para prakriti. So these 8 elements are inert, and as soon as the living soul or super energy comes in his body, it's become active. Both of these prakritis or energies are emanation from the Lord, and ultimately he is the controller of everything that exists. There is nothing in the universe that does not belong to either para or apara prakriti. Therefore, everything is a property of the Supreme Being. Any confusion as of now, or any thoughts? So this clearly, the first line being clarified here is that by Prabhupada, that both apara and parasakti prakriti are being controlled by Krishna, and these are the property of Krishna. We saw in Canto 3, we were discussing Bhagavatam, right? There we saw how Krishna provided all the ingredients to to Lord Brahma to create the universal cell, and everything coming out from Krishna. And here maybe a very nutshell describe that, okay, these 5 elements and man, bodhi, ahankara, 8 elements, and this jiva, the soul, are coming from Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna, and hence everything is the property of the Supreme Being. Everything is property of Krishna. Make sense?
Yeah, so Prabhu, when Krishna, I often think about how Krishna enjoys. Obviously, it's beyond our comprehension, but he completely independently enjoys, or can he, or does he enjoy through everything he creates, like even through us, through our limited senses also? He enjoys everything that we enjoy, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything he enjoys through us, or completely independently as a witness.
He enjoys, I'm not very much sure if he enjoys anything from us, but certainly he enjoys from the pure devotees, like Nitya Siddhas, like the pastimes we see in the Vrindavan, especially. There Krishna enjoys. Right.
Okay.
I mean, this is one of the point, like, Krishna wanted to enjoy, so he expanded himself into Haladini Sakti, and then Prakriti, and then the Gokula Vashi, and then they started doing the pastimes. But I'm not very much sure about if he enjoys anything from like conditioned souls like us. But certainly he enjoys with the association of the Nitya Siddhas. Like the past time we were discussing yesterday about Mother Yashoda binding Krishna. So yes, he's enjoying the pastimes. And then we discussed about killing the demons is a pleasure for all the Brajavasis, the Gopas friends. Stealing butter, it's an enjoyment for them. So he is playing a pastime over there, and certainly he's enjoying there. And definitely Krishna enjoys for sure, because there are 12 rasas, and in all the rasas Krishna enjoys. Even the fighting, Krishna wanted to enjoy the Birya rasa. So we see Jai Vijay, they are being back into this material world as Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, Hinaksha, and then Krishna enjoys the fighting with them. Right. So certainly Krishna enjoys. How much pleasure we can give Krishna, that's a different point.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Right. Let's go for next paragraph then. Because the Supreme Being, the absolute personality of Godhead, is the complete person, he has complete and perfect intelligence to adjust everything by the means of his different potencies. The Supreme Being is often compared to a fire, and everything organic and inorganic is compared to the heat and light of that fire. Just as the fire distributes energy in the form of heat and light, the Lord displays his energy in different ways. He thus remains the ultimate controller, sustainer, and the dictator of everything. So this is the understanding. He is the one who controls, he is the one who is sustainer and also the dictator of everything. Lord Brahma says, not a single blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. Right. So he is the possessor of all potencies, the knower of everything, and the benefactor of everyone. He is full of inconceivable opulences, power, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. These are the 6 opulences of Lord. Right. So Krishna, understanding that the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer, benefactor of everything, he's the controller of everything, he's the sustainer of everything. Right. That's the real or ultimate understanding of Supreme Controller. That's why he says controller. See, controller means what? Controller is another word for Ishvara, isn't it? Ishvara also means controller, and the controller, and Krishna is called a Supreme Controller, or Param Ishvara. Param means supreme. So we are also Ishwar in one sense. It means what? We are also controller, but our control area is very limited. That's very limited, and even we can't control us completely. Let's, for example, you ate something, and it started making some problem in your body. Maybe indigestion, you are out of control, you can't do any more anything else, you need to go to doctor to cure you. So we are not in control of ourselves. But if you see Krishna eating everything, as in past of Govardhan Leela, right? And there, the Brajavasis, they brought everything. Everyone, all the householders of Vrindavan, they brought all their foodstuff to offer Krishna. And still Krishna saying, Aniyor, Aniyor, bring more, bring more. Krishna is eating, but he doesn't have any problem of, constipation or, any other, stomach problems. He's eating all things, right? So the point is, we are controller, but in a very, very minute way. But Krishna is controller of the supreme, of everything, of the whole universe, and not only one, unlimited universes as well, right? So that's why he's called as Param Ishvara. Sometimes people say, no, we are Ishwar, but we are not God. We are a bit tiny controller, nothing beyond that. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one more paragraph as well, and then we'll stop. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that except for the Lord, no one is a proprietor of anything. Till now, Prabhupada is still talking about the first line, that to understand that animate and inanimate, in the whole material world, Krishna is the controller of everything, right? So one should understand that the Lord, and no one is proprietor of anything except the Lord, and one should accept only those things that are set aside by the Lord as his quota. So now he's coming back to the point of quota. The cow, for instance, gives milk, but she does not drink that milk. She eats grass and straws, and her milk is designated as food for the human beings. Such is the arrangement of the Lord. Thus, we should be satisfied with those things he has kindly set aside for us, and we should always consider to whom those things we possess actually belongs to. Right? So understanding that what is my need, and keeping ourselves happy and satisfied within that limit is what Krishna sets the quota for us, right? The quota for different persons is certainly different, right? If someone has the good karma earlier, and then he can have earn more, but how much enjoyment he can get from this earning is a different part. There is a nice story being described earlier, in the rich man, and then he invited a few sages at his house, and he made an palatable dishes, so many varieties of dishes, and then he wanted to feed the sages by his own, and he brought the nice plate, big plate with all this, 10-12 items in a plate, and then he started giving him. And then the sages said, okay, you can come and sit and have lunch with us as well. And then he denied, but eventually the sages said, okay, no, please come and have your food with us as well. And when he agreed, so his plate was very tiny and very limited items over there, even not too much. And then the sages said, you have brought so much elaborate plate for us, and you are eating just in a very limited one. So what's the problem? The person says, the point is, I can't eat all those things because I'm diabetic. So these are the food items, I have restricted food items I need to eat. So the point is, though he is earned so much, he had so much of wealth, but he cannot enjoy the things, right? So maybe we can extend ourselves to get something more beyond what our capability, but still the point of happiness we'll get, that's restricted by our quota itself, isn't it? Does it make sense? So we'll stop today here, I think, and then from we'll discuss more about the quota in the next Wednesday. We'll start reading from here. Take for example our dwelling things. And Prabhupada explains about the quota and more over here. Any last quick comments, questions, thoughts before we wind up today's session? All right. So thank you very much all for joining. Prabhupada
Thank you, Prabhu.
ki jai.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So tomorrow we'll join back at same time to start Canto 10, chapter number 10. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you
Bol.
so much, Prabhu. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Thank you, everyone.